Long ago, somewhere in the mountains of Italy, a child is born on stormy night. His mother, the Giovanni fish priestess, his father, Gialeo. 1. When the boy was very young, he was abandoned, homeless and starving. He was forced to steal, kill, and sell for survival. From this day on, he'd be consumed with an ever-imposing need for vengeance against his parents for leaving him like this. 1. He would rise to success as a gang leader, a king of thieves. The streets were his playground. To his companions, he was a god, and to his enemies, he was the devil.
I've seen a million people that were like Gio.
Quite. One of those enemies was none other than Wiltro, leader of the Southern Willis clan. He felt that his territory had been intruded upon, and he was tired of all his concubines leaving him. Hey kid, you best keep your grubby hands off my women and stop horseplaying in my parts of town.
Gialeo. I'm no kid. I'm Gialeo, king of thieves. I can name every Pokemon to ever exist. If your slunk is too small for my fair maidens, maybe you should move to Sicily.
I've warned you, boy. I've got enough men to face the Godfather.
Well, I've got enough men to face the Godfather Part 2 and 3, Western music ends.
And so begins one of the bloodiest turf wars in modern history. Hundreds of gangsters and mercenaries battle and scheme for what seems like years. The war does not end until Gialeo sneaks into Wilcrow's castle in the middle of the night and beheads him with a swordfish.
Here, I'm just gonna say.
Some months later, he goes to bang a fortune-teller chick. After 6 consecutive hours of brutal lovemaking, the fortune-teller chick's Earth, Wind, and Fire playlist ends.
Thanks, bitch. I'd love to stay and talk about my feelings, but I've got to go play Pokemon Go.
Well, wait. How do I do a woman voice?
Is it still playing?
Yeah, it's still playing. Well, wait. I sense something deep within you. Something painful that you don't usually share. Please, let me see what my crystal ball tells me. I feel that I can put your soul in the right direction.
I don't really believe in all that fortune teller mumbo jumbo, unless it's from an 8-ball. Can you look? You can look if you want, though, bitch.
This is wind. I see a destiny. A destiny that you have buried under a life of crime. I see a man you seek to destroy. If you want to destroy this man, then you will turn from your current ways and restart life in America. And so, Gialeo says goodbye to his companions and leaves his life as a king of thieves behind him as he sets off on his long voyage to America so he can finally have revenge on his father for abandoning him. After 2 weeks at sea, he finally steps foot on America. He searched for his father for several months before deciding to have some kind of job. This led him to Papa John's Pizza. Papa John's! He met and fell in love with the manager, Shanaka. At that point, his body count was over 700, and he enjoyed all of them. But up to that point, only with Shanaka was it more than lust. They bonded on a spiritual and intellectual level. Gialeo would also meet Will, of dough. I am Will of dough. I have worked here for over 80 years. I will teach you everything you need to know.
Thanks. That's kind of a long time, though, isn't it? Haven't you ever thought about doing something else? How did you even start working here, anyways?
Well, my father was a dough slapper. He slapped pizza dough his whole life. Naturally, he passed it on to me.
Oh,
I remember my whole life I wanted to do something else. I hated working in this shithole. I kept trying to run from it, and one day I stopped running and realized I was an old man. Sometimes I don't know why I keep slapping the dough. Maybe if I stop I can finally go to heaven. Or have I already died a long time ago? And this is some kind of purgatory. It doesn't really matter either way. Now get back to work. Over the course of the next few years, Gialeo became one of the greatest Papa John's employees to ever live. He almost forgot his plans of vengeance entirely. He was too busy keeping the store running. The store was his burden, and he decided to bear it to the best of his ability. The blood in his veins was now pizza sauce. He would end up marrying Shanaka and living in a 3-bedroom apartment. His plans for vengeance became a distant memory until a fateful day. A massively overweight African-American woman named Lizzo began working at Papa John's. She would share her traumas, so he would do the same. He realized how much better his life could have been. He had the powers of Galileo and Giovanni, and he could have been taught how to use them and become powerful and intelligent. But instead he was left to steal or starve, and now he's living in one of the worst countries in the world, working at a mediocre pizza joint for no reason. He had no leaves, however, and was far too needed at Papa John's, so he stayed. You do the bells. He ended up marrying Lizzo and decided... Shit, I fucked that up. He ended up falling for Lizzo and decided she would be his second wife. They didn't have enough money for another proper wedding, so they settled on a psychedelic blowjob ritual. She began, and at first he saw visions of purple elephants floating through silly straws and the Incredible Hulk selling green beans. But then he sees his father, and he knows where he is.
I must fulfill my destiny, my purpose. In living, I must defeat my father.
He finds his father and confronts him.
Why did you leave me to die?
Because you are stupid. I am a man of great intelligence and must surround myself only in those with at least 0.004% as much intelligence as myself. You didn't even have as much intelligence as a normal human, so I convinced Giovanni Fish Priestess to leave you.
Too stupid. I was a child.
The fact that you didn't realize I knew that you were a child at the time makes me think that you're still stupid. Gialeo stands like a mountain, cloaked in... Oh, fucking bullshit.
What?
Fuck.
What?
I'm sorry.
Did it pause?
No, I messed it up.
You messed up the whole thing?
No.
Okay, good.
Galileo stands like a mountain cloaked in starlight. He sends a torrent of reality-warping energy towards Gialeo, who channels the energy of every Pokemon from land, air, and sea. They battle for countless hours. Their entire lives had led them to this point. They were never actually alive until now, born by the sparks of clashing blade, destined to die by the fate of their hypocrisies. Gialeo finally ends the fight, literally piercing his father in the heart, just as he figuratively pierced him in the heart so many years before. Now he was beaten beyond repair, and his life's goals were finally over. So he climbed to the top of a leaning tower of pizza. His destiny and drive for living was complete, so he leaped from the top and died. But his story is not yet over. After traveling to heaven, he was encountered by Lardass of the Lewis Creek brothers. Gialeo, I have watched you for a long time and have been fascinated by your story. If you would be willing, I would like to christen you as an honorary member of the Lewis Creek brothers. With that, Gialeo returned as a god and moved with his 2 wives to the land of the creek, where he lives to this very day.